It's now 6 o'clock. I call this meeting of the Smith County Emergency Services District Board of Directors to order. All notices have been posted. I would ask people to silence their phones if they would. And at this time, I'll ask Commissioner Domney to lead us in the prayer, pledge of allegiance to the United States and Texas flag.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us today, Lord. We enjoy the weather whenever you give it to us, no matter if it's good or bad. We certainly appreciate the good days, Lord. And thank you for those, Lord. We pray that you would be with us this evening as we go through our meeting, that you would lead us and guide us, and that all that we do would be pleasing in your eyes, Lord. We pray also that you would be with all those that serve the citizens and the visitors to Smith County, Lord, that you would lead us and guide us and protect us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
One little correction on that. We do have a quorum present. Commissioner Arnold, Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Domney, Commissioner Thornton by Zoom, and myself. So, anyway. So, this time we'll move on to item number 3, recognition of guests and special presentations. Let's see. Ms. Hammonds is here from Jamestown. Jim Spire from Christus EMS, and UT's here. That's good. Glad to have you guys. So, anyway. All right. Item number 4, public comments. We have anybody signed up for public comment? No one signed up for public comment? Good. We'll move right on to item number 5, which will be our consent agenda. Discuss, consider, and take any action related to payment of accounts, bills, invoices, payroll, requests for reimbursement, requests for other payments, transfer of funds, and amendments. Under 5.1, we have emergency purchases from Joey Riggles Septic for $2,695 for Winona Station 2 repair. So I would entertain a motion on that.
Make the motion that we approve the emergency repair for Winona 2 septic system for $2,695.
Have a motion by Commissioner Domney. We approve the emergency repair purchase of $2,695 for Winona Station 2 septic repair. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 5.2 will be our payment of bills. I've looked over them. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. If anybody has any questions about them or has found something they need to ask a question about, but the total will be $1,132,584.06. And I would entertain a motion on that.
I'll make the motion that we approve payment of bills under 5.2 in the amount of $1,132,584.06.
Motion by Commissioner Domney to pay our bills in the amount of $1,132,584.06. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And that motion carries unanimously. 5.3, district credit cards. We looked over those. They're a lot less than they have been, and the total amount of those is $13,639.40. And I would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion that we pay our credit card bills under 5.3 for a total of $13,639.40.
Have a motion by Commissioner Arnold to pay credit card bills in the amount of $13,639.40. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 5.4, bill contract payments. And that amount for that is $69,175.72. I would entertain a motion.
Make the motion that we would pay our contract payments in the amount of $69,175.72.
We have a motion by Commissioner Dominic, we pay our contract payments in the amount of $69,175.72. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Aye.
And that motion carries unanimously. 5.5, urgent purchases, Delta Fire and Safety and Stewart and Stevenson.
I just want to make note that, the Delta Fire and Safety was clean inspection of equipment. We had a bunch of gear that was out of service, needed to get it back in service, so understand the purpose of that, as well as the Stewart Stevenson, is we have an apparatus out of service that needed the urgent repair, so.
Right.
So, I don't have a total there, I'll add it up here real quick to see what we got.
$11,824.25.
Yeah, 98 cents. So
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the urgent purchases in the amount of $11,824.98.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominic, we approve the emergency purchases or urgent purchases. And what was that amount?
$11,824.98.
98 cents. $11,824.98.
Yes.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. 5.6, pre-approved payments for our insurance and cell phone bills. I think it's just for information only. And there's no action to be taken on that, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yep. 5.7, discuss, consider, and take any action on the Volunteer Fire Department financial statement completion master engagement with Squires and Company at an estimated cost not to exceed $7,670. That's for the audits, is that right, Eric?
Keith.
Keith.
Yes, sir, that's for the compilations for the VFDs. I'd meant to bring this on the agenda last month.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
Historically, and the reason I'm bringing it before you, historically, it was $600 for every VFD, a flat rate, but after they did that, they realized some of the VFDs required a little more elbow grease than others, and so they put together a schedule, which I included, or letters for each one.
Okay.
And they totaled out to $7,670. We're asking the board to approve that to move forward.
Okay. All right.
I'll make the motion that we approve Squires and Company to complete the engagements for $7,670 and authorize the executive director to sign any necessary documents.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Dominic to engage Squires and Company to do the compilation for the volunteer fire departments for a cost of $6,670.
$7,670.
$7,670.
Yes, sir.
$7,670. And authorize the executive director to sign the documents. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. Item 6, receive, discuss, and take any necessary action related to the following reports. 6.1, special call meeting of August the 2nd. 6.2, Board of Commissioners, July 28th, 20th, 25. And 6.3, special call meeting August 9th, 20th, 25.
Okay. Each of those having been duly reviewed and submitted for approval, make the motion we approve the minutes for the special call meeting of August the 2nd, 2025. The Board of Commissioners minutes for July 28th, 2025, and the special call meeting August 9th, 2025.
A motion by Commissioner Dominy to approve the minutes of the special call meeting of August 2nd, 2025, the Board of Commissioners' regular meeting on July 28th of 2025, and the special call meeting of August 9th, 2025. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. Item 7, Executive Director, Administrative and Financial Report. No
So-
action required.
As usual, I will focus on a few highlights. You have the written report. And the first one is that we are pleased to welcome our newest finance member. Her name is Amy Register, and I wish she could be here today, but she is on prearranged leave. So Amy joins us from a couple of years of accounting experience, and she recently graduated from the UT Tyler with a Bachelor of Business Administration in Accounting, and she graduated magna cum laude. So she comes with a lot of experience and a highly skilled mind. So we are very pleased, and I think Keith and Sherry applauds to them for actually managed to snag her for our organization. The RFP for the strategic planning consulting services have concluded. We have 3 responses, and as soon as this budget process is over, we will turn our focus and conclude and get going with the consulting services too. There's, in all fairness, it's probably just one response that is of the caliber that we are seeking, but we're going to do the proper thing and do the evaluation and so forth. If the commissioners have their calendars ready, I would like to bring your attention to that we have done 2 board workshops now, and we have a proposed fiscal year 2026 budget and a proposed ad valorem tax rate. And the next step in this process is to have the public tax rate hearing on September 8th. In this location, 6 o'clock. And then the final adoption meeting will be on September 15th, again 6 o'clock in this particular location. So if everything goes as planned, then by the 15th this budget process should be done and the tax rate. I would also like to point out that, as you know, finance have been working for quite a while now to break out the TIFMAS reimbursements from all the other expenses in our monthly financial report. The first step towards that goal have now been achieved. Keith has made journal entries to move expenses out of personnel and out of other expense items and move them to 2 separate accounts. One is called TIFMAS reimbursement expenses, and the other one is simply called TIFMAS, which then holds all the personnel-related expenses. So now when you look at the financial report, which Keith will go through here in a little bit, you can look at the TIFMAS revenue or TIFMAS income line, and then you can compare that to the 2 TIFMAS expenses and form your own opinion whether it makes sense. It doesn't capture everything, such as depreciation on apparatus and so forth. So if there is a surplus, you can consider that that goes towards reimbursing us for depreciation on the vehicles and so forth. And that is all I have that I wish to highlight, and I'm available for any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Eric?
Have any?
Okay. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
All right. Under 7.2, discuss, consider, and take any action on Texas Senate Bill 2778 and the district's purchasing and payment policy.
So this goes back to, as of September 1, the $2,000 limit that is part of 775. To be precise, it's 775.073, B as in boy. That specific when we have, the law has changed from 2,000 to 50,000 in 775, we thought it made sense for the board to consider amending the amounts that are in the district's purchasing and payment policy, which currently states that anything over $2,000 has to go back to the board. So I'll leave it to the board to discuss.
Yeah, so we have the policies in place that basically set ourselves at the $2,000 mark. With the increase in 50,000 and really the amount of effort that it takes to manage everything that is at that threshold, I would make the recommendation we would up it to $5,000. And we still give ourselves the opportunity to look at it at a future time, but on the interim, that'd be my recommendation, is 5,000.
I tend to agree. I think $5,000, and we'll see how we manage it from there. And then we can revisit it at a future date if necessary. If we see that that's still a little bit short, we can make adjustments
We
later.
can always adjust the policy.
Yes.
Joel, what do you think?
I think that's suitable.
Scotty? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I was okay raising it. I was thinking in a couple steps similar to what you all, and I'm good with 5,000 as well.
Okay. All right. Then I guess at this point in time, I would entertain a motion, and I'll go along with the rest of the board with that, so.
I'll make the motion that based on the district's current purchasing and payment policy, align staff maximum approval limits with the existing statutory cap of $2,000. The upcoming statutory increase, staff, board recommend that we up that limit to $5,000.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Domney. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. And that motion carries unanimously. So, 5,000 now. All right. And we'll also look at it as we go along. If we need to do more, we'll do more, whatever. It's just a work in progress, so. Item 8 will be financial reports. Mr. Keith, I guess that will be you. You're up on.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like to look at the budget to actual for the operating fund, Fund 100. So we are in July, or the end, or these reports are for July 31st, so we're 10 months through the year. We're close to finalizing 2025. For property tax, we feel we will meet or exceed budget. For sales tax, as Eric highlighted in his executive report, we are a few percentage points higher than estimates, but we plan to make that $15.4 million overall, and possibly more. We've budgeted $24.8 million in revenue in FY25, and we have already realized $23.2 million. So we're right at 93% for the year. Also, as Eric mentioned, on the TIF-MOS income, we have recorded $803,000 approximately in TIF-MOS revenue. And then we'll look at some of the TIF-MOS expenses beneath there. Our personnel cost, we've budgeted $11.7 million and we've utilized $9.7 million, so we're right at 83%. As you can see under TIF-MOS, we have recoded, as Eric mentioned, recoded TIF-MOS expenses. So we have now $202,000 in TIF-MOS reimbursable personnel cost. And that also includes benefits as well. Our benefits, we budgeted $5 million. We've expended $4.5 million, so we're right at 88%. Our total personnel cost of $16.9 million, and we have utilized 14.3, so we're right at 85%. So we're in line with 10 months out of the fiscal year. If you look down the page under administration, we have $885,000 budgeted for contingency. Our goal is to keep that intact. our next board meeting, I plan to bring a budget amendment / budget realignment. So what we're gonna do is tidy up these deficits in budgeted expenses and sweep potential surpluses, hopefully down into the contingency. Again, the goal is to keep that intact. There could be some circumstances where we have to dip into it, but I don't foresee anything significant occurring, and if we did, it would be minimal. And again, unless anything extraordinary or unplanned occurs in the next 2 months. So again, that is the goal, to keep that $885,000 contingency intact. We have finalized all the transfers for FY '25. Looking at the next page, operations budgeted $1.8 million. They currently have $453,000, significantly remaining, which is, they're right at 75%. So I linked up with Chief Smith, and they pretty much have everything planned for the rest of the fiscal year. There could be some additional expenses towards the end of the fiscal year, but potentially right now, they've done a pretty good job planning as far as encumbrances. But again, they could utilize approximately $50,000 of that remaining balance before the end of the fiscal year. For facilities, overall support services overall, they've budgeted $2.3 million. If you add their actual income or actual expenditures and encumbrances, they've utilized 83%. So they're right in line with at the July mark. Overall, we've budgeted $27.8 million in expenses, and we've utilized exactly, or almost exactly, 84% of the budget. So barring anything extraordinary occurring or unplanned, we should be in pretty good shape as we wind out fiscal year 2025. And I could answer any other questions or any questions that the board may have.
Just one comment, I'm kind of like Mac, if there's a way you can put out on the end of your report where we're at, that helps us. Yeah. So that helps us out quite a bit. That way you don't have to just say it, we can see where we're at. That will work. I mean, so anybody else or anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you, Keith. Item 9, Director of Human Resources. Sherry, you're up.
Okay. You have before you my HR report. There are a few things I wanted to point out. There were some date changes since I put the report out. The firefighter recruitment, we've received 81 applications. 43 passed the physical agility and the written test. So the firefighting hiring panel started interviewing last Wednesday, the 20th, and we're going through tomorrow, the 26th. So there's been 5 days of interviews. The chief interviews are scheduled for September 2nd through the 5th. We had to push that back a week. And then firefighter orientation will begin September 29th through October 10th. So there was a few date changes. The other thing about driver and lieutenant promotional testing, we did put out for internal candidates to submit their intent to test, and I received 9 for driver and 1 for lieutenant. Administrative staffing, Eric already mentioned that Amy Register received or accepted the position for accounts payable specialist on August 4th, and we're still interviewing for the office support specialist position. And that's all I wanted to point out in this report.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is workforce injuries under 9.2.
Mm-hmm. We had 1 injury for August, and that was an ankle injury. The person missed 1 day of duty, but they returned to full duty the next day, which was the 11th.
All right, under 9.3, discuss, consider, and take any action, necessary action on employment benefits renewal proposal, fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025.
Okay. Attached for your review is the 2025 to 2026 benefit renewal proposal from Brinson Benefits. It's for Blue Cross Blue Shield. It did reflect a 36% increase initially, and Brinson Benefits did solicit alternative carriers, but we were unsuccessful in getting any other quotes in. But Brinson was able to negotiate with Blue Cross Blue Shield and bring that down to 21%. So at least it's not quite as bad as we first projected it to be.
It's worth mentioning it was the weighted, was the 21%.
Yes, it's the weighted average between the two plans. So the proposed plans for renewal are the PPO plan and the HMO plan with the HSA HRA component. Do you want me to go through each plan, what they cover? I don't know how much detail.
It's same plan, right?
It is the
Okay.
same plan, that's why I didn't know how much detail you wanted. Okay. Dental renewal increased by 3%. All other plans remain flat. So so vision, life, short-term, long-term, all of that, there was no increase. So the staff is requesting that Blue Cross Blue Shield benefit renewal quote be approved for the 2025 to 2026 plan year. Unless you had any questions?
I'll entertain a motion on 9.3 as far as the benefit package.
I'd make the motion that we would adopt the proposed Blue Cross Blue Shield benefit renewal package effective October the 1st, 2025.
Okay, and a motion by Commissioner O'Donnell, we adopt Blue Cross Blue Shield, plan effective October 1st of 2025. And a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion?
I would like to make a comment. Next year, we need to really drill into this and try to find some insurance. These guys are gonna hurt on this. So I don't know what we can do, but whatever effort you can into trying to get some of these rates reduced.
I mean, I think they did this year. I mean, I
suggest
appreciate
you
what
do
you're saying, but
you
yeah.
can,
Yeah.
I'm challenging you for next year. Let's really
Yeah.
drill into this. 'Cause this
Every
is-
year we look at it and try to do our very best.
I think get to the stage what you do, I understand what you're saying, but all the, requests they put out, when you only have one or two respond out of 14 or 15, it's kind of hard to choose another plan if nobody responds to it or refuses to respond, so.
Yeah.
They all,
Right, they all
they all
refuse
declined,
Yeah,
to quote.
so I'm not sure what else we could have done.
yeah.
I don't know, but if there's anything out there, we need to try to look for it. These guys are gonna be hurting.
Do you do diligence?
Just my comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do the best you can. I mean, you know you did this year. Just try diligently next year.
Okay, will do.
All right, have a motion and a second. Is there any other comment or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. 9.4, discuss and consider and take any necessary action on contract renewal, Clear Company Performance Evaluation Software.
Okay. The district utilizes Clear Company for our 360 evaluations, for the performance evaluations. And they submitted their renewal agreement for us to contemplate and to sign. This actually renewed June 30th. It was supposed to anyways, renew June 30th, but due to our firewall, I never received it until this month, and that's why it's late. So I wanted to apologize for that, but I just received it. The current annual rate that we were paying was $4,000. The renewal is $4,800. It is for a 24-month period.
Can I just make one clarification?
Sure.
It is not only for the 360. It is for
Well-
the 360 and for the regular performance evaluation.
Yes,
Correct.
you're correct. Thank you. So the staff is requesting that that you approve the Clear Company contract renewal for $4,800 under the proposed 24-month contract.
I think before we make the motion, it's very simple to set up a reminder. We shouldn't be waiting on them to send something. We should be pursuing them prior to the expiration date.
Yes, I agree. I'll make sure I put a reminder.
Make the motion that we renew the Clear Company contract for the next 24 months at an annual rate of $4,800.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Commissioner Dominy to renew the Clear Company contract for the next 24 months at an annual rate of $4,800. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. Item 10, Community Outreach Coordinator's Report. Ms. Nikki, you're up.
Okay, well, good evening. So our last month, we're starting to move into some of our fun pieces where we're out and about in the community. So we did have some significant calls last month. We responded to more than 960 calls throughout the month, but we're starting to move in some of those fun events. So we have an upcoming event with Cavenders on a Special Olympics breakfast that we're going to be attending. We have some things coming up at some churches. Of course, we're stepping back into the school scene, so we'll be at those Friday night football games, which we've started attending. We're working now on setting up Fire Prevention Month and getting ahead for that, getting on the schedule as quickly as possible. We've had some of just our daily work with the media. I stay in contact with them all the time. We've been able to do some news interviews with them about the upcoming CAD systems and projects that we have going on, so we're excited about that. And I know we're talking about insurance, but I think of this as an exciting thing because before the end of the year, we will have had 16 babies within the team. So I know there's a cost there, but for me, it's so fun. And so we actually had a news station reach out to us because they're like, what is going on over there? And so we have a big group photo set up next week. So we're really just excited about that, just to, as I like to say, offer a little glitter and sunshine in all of our bad days. So yeah, that's really what we've got going on. We talked about the physical agility and the hiring, and I pointed out in there when I, built my report that on those physical agility test videos, there were just 30-second clips. We had more than 20,000 views, and the feedback that I received from the field is how many people are applying and looking at our social media. So that tells me that we're creating a splash and people are watching us. So that's exciting to hear. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for Nikki or? All right. Item 11, Assistant Executive Director's Report. Start with support services. Larry, under 11.1.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioners. As always, y'all have my report in front of you. I just want to review a few things that didn't make that report and kind of highlight those. First, our auction is live. It went live today. Our wonderful public community outreach person over here has gotten us posted, and I think we've got a lot of traction on Facebook. We're already seeing lots of bids on equipment, so we're hopeful that continues to go in that direction. We do have 2 openings at this point. We have an opening in fleet maintenance, preventative maintenance technician position, and our procurement and logistics manager, which is an amended title to our logistics manager position. Both of those have been sent over to our Snelling, our employment agency, and we're going to start working to fill those positions. Our logistics manager is still with us at this time, but he's indicated to us that he's going to be moving out of state, so we're working to fill that position. I also want to announce a hiring for our wireless technician. He's been with us for a couple of months now, maybe 3, but we've had such packed board meetings we haven't had a chance to introduce him. So I've asked him to attend today, and Edgar, would you stand up and wave to everyone?
Hello, Edgar.
Figure we get him in on a light meeting. It's a little much. We did start our new field technician today as well, but I thought it was a little much on first day, so we'll introduce him next meeting.
He's a
He is. Yeah. And then I just want to announce that we've promoted our preventative maintenance technician, Jason, to the position of fleet technician, and he's already started in that capacity. Other than that, our facilities manager here, Laura, attended the Texas Fire Department Facilities Conference in Denton and had a good time and made a lot of contacts, and interested to hear how that went. So other than that, if y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I didn't have anything. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. All right. 11.2, discuss, consider, and take any action on purchasing 4 rear tires for Flint engine 161 at a cost of $2,242.96, and authorizing staff to purchase 4 new rear tires for Flint engine 160 from Southern Tire Mart.
Commissioners, this is a normal wear and tear item. This is our It should be rare that we get over 5,000. Appreciate that action, it might shorten our meetings a little bit.
I make the motion that we would authorize staff to purchase 4 new rear tires for Flint Engine 161 contractor vendor Southern Tire Mart at total cost of $2,242.96.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to authorize staff to purchase 4 new rear tires for Flint Engine 161 from contracted vendor Southern Tire Mart at a total cost of $2,242.96. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. 11.3, discuss, consider, and take any action on purchasing new graphics package for Fleet Reserve Engine 180 at a cost of $2,544.
Commissioners, y'all are all very well aware of this engine. This is the old Jackson Heights engine that was removed from service. We're ready to put it back into service at this point to be a reserve engine, and it's in need of a complete graphics project. So there's no graphics on it at all at this point. It has been through evaluation. Tabulation is attached.
I'll entertain a motion on this request.
Make the motion to authorize staff to purchase graphics package from Siddons Martin Emergency Group Graphic Division for renumbering the Reserve Engine 180 at a cost of $2,544.
We have a motion by Commissioner Dominy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. 11.4, discuss, consider, and take any action on the next steps for the new station in Jamestown Community funding request.
Commissioners,
Go ahead.
we've completed all of the requested modifications. We worked with Hudson Commercial, the contractor that was selected through the original evaluation tabulation. We think we've reached a fair price on the modifications. Just below the evaluation tabulation for site work, you see that revised bid proposal that's provided by them. So you have that in front of you. And we just ask that you go ahead and move forward with this project. Also, if we do move forward with this project, secondary to that, we'll need to discuss when we want to schedule a groundbreaking. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about this project.
I'll just say thank you for the due diligence and going back in and trying to minimize our costs, but still provide us the facilities that we need to serve our citizens there, so we appreciate it.
We appreciate the partnership and the board and the direction.
I think it's time.
Well, I'll make the motion that we allow the staff to move forward with phases 1 and 2 of the Jamestown project at a cost not to exceed $684,931.
A motion by Commissioner Wilson to authorize the staff to move forward with phases 1 and 2 of the Jamestown project at a cost not to exceed $684,931.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. All right, it's been a long time coming.
So, Commissioners, on groundbreaking for that, about the earliest we could do it would be late next week. It's going to take a little bit to get all the preparations made and the contractor to move some equipment in. So what days towards the end of next week or a future week would be best for the Commissioners?
Would a weekend be better?
It's completely up to you.
Everybody?
Saturday's not gonna work for me, I got plans for next weekend.
Is that the 6th? Is it on the 6th?
I could work on the 6th.
It's on Saturday.
Can you have it ready by then, Larry?
What day?
6,
The 6th?
By the 6th?
for the groundbreaking.
Yes, sir.
Just see what you make.
Yes, sir.
10 o'clock?
The 6th, 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock? Is that okay with you, Brent? Do that?
We can do it at 7. I don't care.
We can do it at 9 if you want to. I don't care.
Yeah, let's move it up earlier in the day.
That's
Sit
who
at
she,
9 o'clock on September the 6th.
9
Thank you,
a.m.
Scotty.
September 6th.
It's a long ways up there.
That's-
Just have to leave earlier.
I'll pack my lunch.
Thank you all, Commissioners.
All right. Item 12, Chief of Operations Report. Mr. Cruiser.
Good evening, Commissioners. Exciting evening, a lot of good stuff. So just a couple of highlights of my report. You already heard that 963 runs for the month of July, so we've been quite busy. A lot of work out there. One of the highlights of the training components has been the advanced EMT class. That's a collaboration with Tyler Junior College as well as UT. Putting that together, and our instructors that are involved in that. And so we're happy to report that 11 members have completed the class and will be finishing up the last bit of rotations and sitting for the National Registry exam. So that's exciting for us to move in that. We also have started today one of the final ECAs or EMRs within the organization will be finishing up their training to upgrade to EMT. So that gets us upgraded in a significant way across the board. And so we're excited about what that means for not only the organization, but also our response into the communities and those that need us. With that said, the CAD is an ongoing project. We've signed the third-party access agreements. We're working diligently with the CAD vendor, Motorola, as well as the county and our other partners and the stakeholders that are in the project. It is a overwhelming amount of work to get everybody to agree to all components of it, but we are steadily making ground on that, and no loss of energy to get us where we need to be. That, in my humble opinion, is going to be a huge improvement for our district and our response. How we coordinate those responses and how we assure that services are delivered in the most efficient and effective manner. With that said, you've heard already a lot about the recruiting efforts. I would express my appreciation to Sherry's office and HR and all the work that's occurred to get us to that point, as well as Nikki and all the stuff that she's done to promote us. What she said a moment ago, and those that are watching our social media and watching our recruiting efforts, it goes without saying this is going far and wide, and that it's manifested in the numbers that have come back in this recruiting effort. So we're doing some really good work in that, and I would certainly be remiss if I didn't express that appreciation on behalf of the district. With that said, as you know, we did the final inspection on the BME tender that will be the replacement at Troop 146 House. That tender had just a couple of minor modifications. My understanding was that it was going to go on the road for delivery today. So we're expecting that to come to Texas rather quickly. I've also received updates and have been provided those updates to all the stakeholders related to the Skeeter brush truck that is being produced in Hillsboro. We understand that it's pushed back about a week, but that means the first week of September. So things are progressing quickly on that. The grant extension takes us to October the 24th. So we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. In all indications, it's going to be a very nice addition for the district and for the Chapel Hill region. With that said, you have my report on rostering and activity levels and the things that are ongoing, both from our partners and our VFDs, as well as those that are volunteering directly for the district. Lots of great work that's occurring across the board in collaborations. The VFD chiefs have met together with myself and staff, and we've gone over several different initiatives and really making improvements in terms of water delivery and water shuttles. That's really making a difference on our fire grounds. So we're actively pursuing those improvements, and those are starting to manifest in significant ways. You have the training report. You've heard a lot tonight about reimbursements coming out of Chief Clanton's office and the amount of work, and we're utilizing that third party that's assisting us in that, and we're really seeing the manifestation of those reimbursements and how that's occurring. Happy to answer any questions that you might have in addition to what I've relayed to you.
Just thanks for adding to the report, the, active duty direct, certification. Appreciate that. Gives a little bit more visibility on what we're seeing there, so.
Yes. One thing I did leave out was the number of the company level walkthroughs and hydrants those are ongoing, and I'll continue to report that for your visibility on that.
Okay.
What about our ISO inspection? Do we know when that's gonna happen?
Yeah, we had a change in ISO person assigned to our region. I know the person that's been reassigned to it, and we're probably another 6, 8, maybe even 10 months out. One of the key factors that will play into that is that we need to have the CAD project in place. That'll be one of the bigger improvements that will manifest in terms of the ratings. With all of that said, just to put it on the record, we actively receive phone calls from insurance and insurance agents that are requesting information related to fire protection throughout the county. That's being pushed back from the insurance companies back to the agents, trying to verify what protection levels are in place throughout the region, throughout the community, throughout our district. So we're having to do things in terms of firehouse locations, closest hydrants. We're having to verify those things directly for the agents. And at all of our state meetings, that's occurring throughout the state. It's a shift that's occurring in the insurance industry from just solely relying on ISO and really pushing that back to the actuals at the district level.
Thanks, Chief. All right. 12.2, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on purchase of fire prevention materials for Fire Prevention Week. Approve the purchase of fire prevention materials in the amount of $3,795.
Yeah, this is a collaborative effort from Nikki's office, for the fire marshal's office, operations, all a collaborative effort to roll these materials out. It is a planned and scheduled purchase that was included in the budget for your approval.
Make the motion that we approve the purchase of the fire prevention materials in the amount of $3,795.
I have a motion by Commissioner Domney. We approve the purchase of fire prevention materials in the amount of $3,795. Have a second? Second. Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. 12.3, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on purchase of water rescue equipment for the Water Rescue Phase 2 project. Approve the purchase of equipment to complete the Water Rescue Phase 2 project in the amount of $32,144.29.
Commissioners, you have before you the packet related to all the background and everything that was included in that. The types of equipment, the types of hardware, rope rescue equipment that's included in that. It's pretty comprehensive in terms of where we're at in the program and what we need to continue to push the program forward. This is all scheduled, budgeted within the phase of Water Rescue Phase 2. And so I have it before you. Any questions you might have, I'm happy to answer.
It's a bid tab selection, so I mean, it looks like you've done your due diligence in making sure that you're buying.
We did an enormous amount of work to look at all the vendors and really at the team level, really trying to maximize the funding available. Really trying to make sure they could take those funds as far as they could in terms of operations and service delivery.
Great, we appreciate it. I'll make the motion that we approve the, I'm sorry, Mac, make the motion we approve the purchase of equipment to complete the Water Rescue Phase 2 project in the amount of $32,144.29.
Motion by Commissioner Domney to approve the purchase of equipment to complete the Water Rescue Phase 2 project in the amount of $32,144.29. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. All right. Item 13, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on fire chiefs presenting and discussing issues with the board for future action. Art.
Good evening. We had 43 calls this month, a little bit more than the past few months. We were almost 100% active. I had one that was out of town on vacation, and then he got the flu, but he's already scheduled to work a 24-hour shift here in a few days, so he's going to be active this month. I've got one that started EMT school today. I've got one that is finishing up his Instructor 1 class. He just needs to do his skills. And then we had one new application came in, and he did a drug test today, I believe. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Good overall performance.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bullard, Chief again.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 469 shift hours covered in July, 369 training hours. Got 17 members, 15 are active. We do had 2 that went up inactive due to missing the requirements. Internally, we have taken action and put them on probation at our level. The ESD has not contacted us and requested that. However, we do take that very seriously, so we move forward on that. Out of our 17 active members, 16 are certified firefighters. We do have one that's in the academy, looking for that person to graduate, and that will bring us to 100% certified. We have one personnel that is looking to enter EMT school at TJC. He's in the process. He meets with them tomorrow to finish that, so be looking forward to putting in a training request. We do have one certified firefighter that we don't have gear for right now. Nothing in logistics fit them, so they're reaching out, trying to get rental gear. So just so you know, we've got one guy that we can't do much with. We also have one member, and this may be something to go back. We have one member that for a year and a half has been in rental gear. We've sent several notifications over to logistics. Hey, it just seems like it's getting slow rolled. So I think we've probably paid for his gear in rental by now. So you may want to look into that process. We did have a productive meeting with admin and ops Thursday. Of particular attention was the lease agreement. As the board knows, we made a second attempt at a lease agreement. We received back word that the board had rejected any and all lease agreements, and that the only path forward was Bullard to sell to the ESD. I have taken that back to our board members. However, they have not responded back, and I do not expect a response. I realize that we are in the nth hour and budgets have been set. We do anticipate that we're going to continue the partnership with the ESD, and we would expect them to continue in good faith to work with us on how we operate at Station 56. Station 57, the renovations are ongoing. I was down there last week. Looks like we've got more electric work that's been done. The LED lights have been installed. We've got some painting that's done. It looks like we're making progress as our ESD personnel, and I think we'll call them contract labor. I think that's public service labor that's doing some of the painting. But we're looking forward to getting back in there so that the volunteers have a place to call their own. We have pretty much turned over Station 56 to the ESD and allowed them to make themselves at home in that station. So we're looking forward, and any help we can get to push 57 to completion so we have a place for our volunteers would be appreciated. The last thing I need to discuss, Cherokee County quarterly payment. There is a requirement that all calls that Bullard runs into Cherokee County are entered into a separate reporting system. We've been working together to see if we can get an export from Response Master. TFS has said no to that. It is still just a manual task. Back when we were staffing overnight, it looks like Chief Riley was taking care of that. I've asked the ESD to evaluate, since all of that money is going to the ESD, how they can help facilitate getting those calls entered into the secondary system so that we can receive payment. Just want to make you aware, they are withholding that second quarter payment because as of right now, we estimate there's 76 calls that haven't been entered. As I've had time, I have been whittling away at that number to get it down to 76, but I'm requesting some assistance from the paid crews. Do you have any questions for me?
Yep, thank you, Chief.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies.
Chapel Hill, Chief Peterson.
Good evening. We've had also a busy month, like we always have out there in Chapel Hill. I've got one new member that actually finally finished up to support part on it because the one he was doing is an EBOC, and we actually had that to help him get that. So he'll be finished up. We'll get that into SFMA, so he'll have his support. So he'll be ready to start being active more because they get a pager and stuff. And also I got two more applications I got to send in, and we just picked up here this last week. So I got two more coming in to get processed. Then also we've been helping out at the Chapel Hill, at the high school. The band during the summertime always have their practice and stuff. Until their last day, we go in and give them what we call water day. We wet them all down, trying to cool the kids down for being out with the heat. We do that pretty well. He calls me every year so he can wet the kids down. They like that pretty much. And also we did also at the high school, we went to back to school. We had a table set up to help with fire safety issues and stuff, and then for any recruitment if kids want to be interested. Then also that we done here this time we had our our Smith County Association. We had a family day at Berkshire's Recreation Center where all the family got together, had a family and games and stuff, had a good time with food, just to get the volunteers out. And like I say also we had a training just here this last couple of days on the EBOC through the VISF, which we got 3 of us instructors that gave that to where we opened up to all the county members because that's one of the hardest ones everybody's trying to pick up. So we helped out. We had 10 people in that class. So that was a good success for the EBOC for that part. And we'll probably be doing a lot more of that as well. And also we have received a TIFMAS grant for training equipment for TIFMAS. It's a $10,000 grant. And we're already looking right now and trying to figure some of the training equipment we're going to need to help with our training, plus not with us, but even with other members in the other station, other volunteers as well. We've been looking together what we could buy to help everybody all around on training. The last thing I got is, like I said, we like to train, but we had 2 members that were going to plan on taking a heavy risk course here this next month, but we got denied because of some budget issues. I guess they don't have the money or stuff to send it, so we can't take the class. That's the only thing we got to figure out why. So basically we lost out on some training. And that's all I have. If you got any questions.
Thank you, Chief. Flint Grisham and White House, I think Chief Tate's going to give both reports tonight.
Aaron says he's sorry he couldn't be here tonight. So Aaron started the academy today, and so I think he's home digesting what was thrown at him today. Chief Stern asked me to come tonight. Tonight is his daughter's birthday, and his wife said that there would be divorce proceedings if he did not make the birthday party. So he asked me to stand in for him. His notes are that he had 1 personnel that was deployed to Kerrville. That's Hunter. He was down there for a 14-day deployment following the floods from July 4th with his drone. Hunter did report back to us that they had some really positive meetings with DPS, TDM, and others related to drone deployment. I know he was really frustrated in the fact that they weren't on the ground July 4th, which is when they should have been. And so I think there was some misinformation at some higher levels with Task Force 1, 2, and others about what drone capabilities were currently in the state by personnel like Hunter and availability to be able to get there and what they can really do. So he said they had some really good meetings, and he anticipates future events being called much, much sooner. So I think they had some positive there. They have 2 new personnel, and Chief Stone said as of today, there's one incomplete report that is a call that was run either today or yesterday. So that's all I have for Flint. On to White House. So I have, since last meeting, I have 6 new personnel that we are in the process of onboarding and getting through the process. I have 4 personnel, as Chief Peterson mentioned, that completed EVOC this past week over at Chapel Hill in a course that they hosted, which is one of the requirements for basic level certification of support for all personnel in the district. As I mentioned, Aaron started the academy this morning, and I have 2 personnel that started EMT at TJC as well. They have both already completed the academy, so this will be the last thing they need for their TCFP certification. On August 1st, I'd like to report that the chiefs met regarding the anticipated grants on tenders to work up a tender spec. I think we're pretty close to having that complete. We learned a lot of information about chassis availability and things like that. And a lot of that, I've spoken to Chief Greaser about that. There's some upcoming changes regarding emissions requirements that are going to affect in January that may affect us. So hopefully when those grants come in, we've already kind of given you a forewarning on that. We're trying to get ahead of the curve, try to save a little money. Hopefully we can find chassis and get them ordered before the end of the year and not take that price increase hit on a 26 chassis. We will be working on a comprehensive equipment list to go on those trucks as well and getting that delivered to staff at the office as well. Our last meeting at White House was a joint meeting with paid staff, as we've been doing monthly for several months now. Those are working really well. I'd like to give special thanks to Brian Koschak, also known as Toad with White House. He's my primary tender driver. He and Lieutenant Bowling kind of took the bull by the horns on this training and had a really amazing training. We kind of just turned it over to them because, as I said, we had 6 new people. So we had 6 people in one room trying to get them paperwork and everything we need for them, and had training going on. And the training covered, they actually pulled hose, pumped off of the tender into the engine, and worked on some evolutions as far as just getting some muscle memory going as far as hooking those trucks up and being able to operate effectively at a structure fire. The last thing I have is, as you know, this coming weekend is Labor Day. We're going to be staffing Marine 151 at Lake Tyler on Saturday and Sunday for sure. I spoke with Chief Greaser about that a little earlier today, and I'll be working with Chief Strickland as far as our staffing plan and who all we're going to put on the truck. Any questions?
Good on the 6 new members. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Chief Allen will not be here. He got held up at work and called and let us know. So with that, we'll move to item 14, which will be our closed session. The board will convene closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. No action shall be taken while the board is in closed session. Any final action, final decision, or final vote shall be taken after the board reconvenes in open session. We are adjourned at 7:04. open session back to order at 7:58 PM, and we'll move to item 15.1, discuss and consider and take any action on the payment of closing costs for real property. Approve the settlement of costs of $2,885.99 for the purchase of 2 properties in ARP.
I'll make the motion that we approve the settlement cost of $2,885.99 for the purchase of 2 properties in ARC.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Dominic, we approve the settlement cost of $2,885.99 for the purchase of 2 properties in ARP. Do I have a second? I have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or comment?
I will abstain from this vote.
Okay, all right. If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. And it's 4 to 1 with one abstention. And that's due to Commissioner Arnold being on the original contract when it went through, so. At this time, any board members have anything they'd like to say? Brent, do you have anything? Charles?
Thank you.
Mac? Scotty? Nothing? All right. Guys, we just appreciate the job you're doing. Keep doing the good job you're doing. Stay safe. And we are adjourned at 7:59.